Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is about a beginner friendly eyeshadow look like I have on my eye, as we have to wear mask everywhere now, just in case you want your eyes to really pop out under your mask and you don't know how to go about it. So that's what I'll be showing you today. So I mainly use them two eyeshadow palettes, the e.l.f. Bite Size palette and the Summer Days palette from Sydney Grace. And if you like what you see on my eyes, then keep on watching. The first thing you're gonna need is an eyeshadow primer, and I usually use MAC paint pot. You can get one from Revolution Beauty, you can get one from Health, but this is my preference. Okay, so the reason why you need an eyeshadow primer is to make sure that your eyeshadow lasts for a long time and it does not dissolve into your skin, or the oiliness of your skin does not mix with the eyeshadow. So this would be like a protection against any oiliness or any reaction of your skin to make the eyeshadow last longer. So I usually use like a fluffy brush, so any fluffy brush will do, any nice dense fluffy brush. Okay, so dipping my brush into the eyeshadow primer and you just put it all over your eyes. Okay, my primer is now on. The next thing you need now is brushes, and it doesn't really have to be expensive. This is a set of brush from Primark and it was about £3.50 or £4. So what you need is really something to lay down your eyeshadow, so something flat and slanted like this, and a big fluffy one to kind of like spread the eyeshadow all around your eyes, and you need detailed ones for your under eyes or for your inner corners. So basically you don't really need to spend so much on eyeshadow brushes, but I've got quite a few that I normally use. I use from BH Cosmetic or Colourpop. Any of them will do. You don't have to spend that much money on eyeshadow. The eyeshadow palette I'm using today is the e.l.f. Bite Size, and this is the, let me see if there's a name to it, Very Bad. So it's basically just rosy shades, and this is what it looks like mauvey rosy kind of shades, because I think that's a safe bet when you're starting. Also, I will be using the Summer Days palette from Sydney Grace as a backup, just in case the eyeshadow doesn't perform well, because I've never used it before. And this is what the Sydney Grace looks like. So it's just, I mean, like I said, if this shadow does not perform well because I've not used it before, then I'm gonna go into the Sydney Grace one. So this doesn't really, it's not really showing up on my crease because it's really light, the lighter shade. Okay, that didn't really show up on me as much. So I'm gonna go into the Sydney Grace, this orange shade there, and that palette is called Summer Days. So I'm gonna use that to help it show on my crease, and it's really because of my skin tone. Okay, as you can see, this shows up on my skin. So that shadow is basically all over my lid now. I just put that single shade all over my lid. I'm now going to put it under my eye as well and do the same for my other eye, and I'll be back. So far I've only used one shade, both on my upper lid and my lower lid, and I've only used that single brush because, as you remember, it's a slanted brush, so I can use the top for my lid and then turn it around and use the down for under my lid. That makes it so easy, you know, to do your eyeshadow, and makes it so quick because one shade, one brush. Okay, I'm gonna go into the e.l.f. palette, and hopefully that shows on my skin tone. So I'm going for the darker color again, the same brush. So going into the darker shade, and I'm gonna use that to darken my outer corner. Okay, that's showing up slightly. So that's all I'm doing, just darkening my outer shade, and I'm going to do the same for my under eye as well, just to make sure that it matches each other. Okay, that showed up. So I'm gonna do the same for my second eye, and I'll be back. All right. Now the next stage is depending on what your eye shape is. Okay, I have got a wooded eye and I've got a deep set eye, which means my eye is slightly droopy. So what I normally do is I usually wing out my shade just to kind of give me an eye lift. So I'll wing out my eyeshadow shape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the first color that I used from the Sydney Grace palette. So it's that one over there, and I'm going to use that to wing out this eyeshadow. So I don't need much winging because it's already, the shape of that brush already gives me a winged eyeshadow shape. And that's why I like that brush, because of the slanting shape of it. I can kind of like place it and kind of spread it out there. So right now I'm just cleaning the edges of that brown to make sure that it's well blended. Right, the next thing now is to put a shimmer. Now if you can leave it like this if you don't want to be bothered with shimmer, or you are very short in terms of time, you don't have much time, you can just leave it like that. Put on a eyeliner, put on your mascara, and you're done. But I like to have shimmers on my lid because I just find it boring to just have the plain matte. So that's what I'm gonna do now. And when it comes to shimmer, if you've got, again depending on your eye shape, if you've got a lid like mine, either it's wooded or it's deep set, you need a glitter primer. So what I would normally do is scoop a little bit onto the back of my hand. Okay, so that's all you need. And I then use a fluffy brush, so something like that, fluffy brush, and just dip it into the eyeshadow primer, and then spread it all over everywhere I want my shimmer shade to be. So I would usually put mine all over the lid and also underneath my eyelid, where I will put I put a highlight shade right there. Okay, I'm now going to put the shimmer on my lid, and for that you need a pointed brush. So this is the one from the Primark, and this is from Colourpop. So it's pointed and it's flat, so it's going to lay down your shimmer shade pretty well. So I'm going to go for this one all over my lid and kind of mix it towards the front. I will use this. So basically I'm going to have two shimmers, so that on the outer edge and this in the beginning, just to give it, you know, oomph. So what I'm doing is just scooping it up, and I like to spray my brush to avoid fallout since I've done my base already. So I'm using the Revolution Pigment Boost. I mean, you can use any certain spray will do, but I like to use that because it also boosts the color of the shimmer. So that is beautiful. So I'm just literally using that brush to lay it down. And you want to also use the brush to blend the outer edge before you come back to your matte shade. So for now, use the brush to blend the shimmer in. And I like to turn the brush to kind of give my eyes some sort of, like as if I cut my crease, but without cutting my crease. So like I said, I use this bronzy kind of shade right in the middle and merged it with the burgundy one. So just to give it a bit of a ombre look. So I'm only bringing it right, not at the tip of my eye, but just on top of the pink shade to give it a ombre look. You just sort of give it some sort of dimension. So you have the bronzy bit and then you have the rosy bit at the edge. So I'm just gonna top it up. I mean, you don't have to do all this, it's just me being extra. So topping up the pink shade and then just making sure that they are well blended with each other. So now I'm gonna go back into that brown shade, into this one, using the edge of the first brush I used, so the slanted edge. And what I'm gonna do is make it, I'm gonna try and blend the shimmer into my upper lid so that you don't see where the shimmer begins and where the matte begins either. They will kind of like blend into each other. Okay, doing the same for the second eye and just turning it. That way you will not see where the two of them are merging. They're kind of like blending into each other. Now for me, again, like I said, you can always leave it like this at whatever stage you are, but I'm going to put a lighter shade in my inner corner just to kind of, you know, take it to the next level. So I don't know which of the shimmers I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use that one right there. It's called Camping. So if that's not light enough, I'll mix it with this nice and gold one called Basque. Okay, I'm going to now go into that shade, this shade, for my inner corner, and I'm going to wet it to avoid any fallout. Okay, and I'm just going to place that right at the corner of my eye, just right there. Blending it into the previous shade, and this is what it looks like. And you see, it gives it dimension. Can you see? It brings light into the eyes. It gives my eyes dimension, you know, rather than it just be one plain color. You can now see at least 3 different shades. Okay, so I'm gonna line my under eye now and apply my eyeliner and my mascara, and I'll be back to show you what it looks, the finished looks like. Alright guys, I'm back. So I've done my eyeliner and I've done my mascara. So I used the Revolution mascara as usual, along with the eyeliner, as well as their Revolution Pro distributor, so that I use that as the in my waterline. So these were the 3 products I used, and I also put a bit of highlighter on my nose and on top of the bridge of my nose, so just to kind of like finish it up. So, and that's it. So I use mainly 3 shades from this because that didn't show up on me, so I had to use just these 3. And I also used the Sydney Grace Summer Days palette, so I used those 2 shades, this shade, and the light shade over there, and that's it. So quite simple, straightforward. So when it comes to eyeshadow, you can make it as simple as you want or as complicated as you want, really. Okay, and I'll just zoom your eyes slightly just so you can see what the whole thing looks like from a bit of a distance. Okay, and that's what it looks like from a distance. I hope you've enjoyed today's look. Thank you for watching. Bye.